Welcome to the ArmaniTalks YouTube channel. I'm your host, ArmaniTalks. In this channel, I'm covering communication skills for you to level up your way with words, become much more articulate. In today's episode, we're going to be breaking down the tyranny planning model. This planning model is way different than the democracy planning model. Where with the democracy planning model, what's happening is that there is a group of people and majority wins. If you guys want let's say 6 out of 10 want a certain idea, then the other 4 who are fighting for the opposing idea is going to lose out because majority has won. There are good parts to this model and there are bad parts as well. The good part is that it seems fair. If majority wins, it's like, okay, well, I know we couldn't agree on everything, but at least most people agreed on a central idea and were able to move forward anyways. Another reason that this model is commonly used is because it's the model that people are most well aware of. Whenever we think of a democracy, we think of something good, something in a positive light. Another way to plan is what I call the tyranny planning model, where there is no democracy. There is one tyrant and a bunch of people that serve the tyrant. And when you think of a tyrant, does that create a positive interpretation in your mind or a negative interpretation? A negative one. But I'm here to tell you that the tyranny planning model, in my opinion, is a smart model depending on who you are dealing with. The problem with democracy a lot of times is that you get in this bad habit of talking in circles. Have you ever seen that when you're in a meeting that you think could have been 20 minutes long, but for whatever reason, it ends up being 2 hours long? You'll notice that some people are talking a lot. Some people are chiming in here and there, and other people are not saying anything. As the meeting is wrapping up, finally, a plan is being set in motion. The people that were not talking the entire time suddenly raise their hands and they suggest a completely contradictory idea. You're thinking, okay, since you were quiet this whole time, I'll just gently shut down your idea because it's so left field and you'll go back to being quiet. But this person, for the past 2 hours, has mentally been doing these affirmations on, come on, John, you need to speak up. You need to stand by your ideas. So where for you, this is an issue of planning. For John, this is an issue of confidence. And suddenly, right when you're in the final lap, you have to start back over. That's why I'm not always the biggest fan of the democracy planning model. I believe every now and then a tyrant is needed. And by tyrant, I don't mean a nut job. I don't mean someone that cannot control their emotions. I mean someone that has unlimited veto power. You don't talk back to the tyrant unless you see a glaring mistake in his or her plans, and they can tell you to do whatever in relationship with the plan. To choose the tyrant, this person must either be super invested in this event or they must be really competent as a whole. Maybe they have a track record for throwing successful events. It's even better if it's both traits combined into one person, where yes, they care the most and they are the most competent. Now, once you have spot the tyrant, you want to put unwavering faith in the tyrant. Play your position. And if you are the tyrant, your goal is not to confuse people. Just give them 1 to 2 roles max and make them execute that. So for example, you are not to say, take care of the food, take care of the venue, and take care of the guest list. When you add that third item, it's too much. I would recommend you just say, you are responsible for taking care of the food. You are responsible for taking care of the performances, and you are responsible for taking care of the attire. One specific task. Now let's say every now and then someone is saying that they're going to do something, but they don't. This is when you could flex your muscles a little bit. I believe within the tyranny planning model that every now and then a strategic yell goes a long way, or a public call out. I recall a long time ago, I was throwing it was this thing called Asian Fusion, where a bunch of different Asian inspired areas were going to throw this one big event together. At the end, we were supposed to do a fashion show where our guys, we were going to like pair up with one of the girls, and we're going to do a walkway. Literally, the day before the event, one of the guys who gave me his word saying that he was going to do the fashion show was like, I'm not going to do it. And rather than being unapologetic, this guy is saying it in a very defiant sort of way. I am not going to do a fashion show. That's whack. And at that point, I could have just said, okay, well, who else wants to fill in for him? But this was a perfect time to make an example out of someone. So I told him, like one-on-one, if you don't do it, especially since you're giving me not too much of a notice, I'm going to have to suspend you from the club, and I'm going to publicly call you out. I'm not just going to like chastise you right now. I'm going to call you out in front of all the girls and all the guys. So the decision is yours. And let's just say he was walking down that walkway the next day. So every now and then you do have to flex your muscles. Hopefully it doesn't come to that. But I have noticed that when someone is not doing their role, a little bit of fear goes a long way. Now, once the event is wrapping up, you don't want to be a tyrant even after the event is done. That's when you acknowledge people. You say, you see, everything worked out, right? And you give them a pat on the back. Hopefully, even after, you guys can get all the people who are responsible for the event in one room, and you praise what each individual person did. So the next time, if you are chosen as a tyrant, they have faith in you. They understand you know what you're doing, and you're not just some nut job that is wielding all the power and using it irresponsibly. If you enjoyed today's talk and you want to get more insights like this into communication skills, be sure to sign up for the ArmaniTalks free daily newsletter. You will learn much more about public speaking, event planning, social skills, and much more. Join the tribe by going on ArmaniTalks.com/newsletter and sign up today. Thank you very much for joining me, and I will catch you next time.